Okay, so here we are in Fulham, southwest London, with the legend that is Example. How you doing?
I'm good. Am I a legend now?
Well, yeah, of course you're a legend. You got your first #1. How's it feel?
It's good, man. It feels like a validation of like 8 years hard work, but I'm not getting carried away.
I mean, well, you're kind of selling out festivals right now. You know, you're headline actor at festivals all over the world. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, so it's wicked, man. Like to go, you know, like the other day I announced gigs in Taiwan and Bangkok and Australia and New Zealand, and like the comments on Facebook, like straight away, you know, when like people click attending, there's like 300 people attending in Taiwan. You're like, I've been in Taiwan before. You can't even read their names. Their names are just symbols. You know what I mean?
But it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. I need the next steps, like Europe. I've just signed my European deal like a couple of weeks ago, because I think people always think about America, and like people forget like in Europe there's like 35, 40 countries or something that you can all hit up before, and it's much closer than going to America. Probably a bit easier to break than America.
Can I call you an urban act? You started off as an urban act.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way, like I was around during the garage days, like,
yeah, exactly.
when I was 18, and I was into jungle, and I started, my first album was hip hop. I mean, whatever it is I'm making now, it's influenced by rock, dance, grime, whatever you want to call it. I've got my ear to the ground. I'm focused. I listen a lot to the underground scene, the urban scene.
I can definitely tell you're influenced by a lot of different genres. And I mean, you're on your third album now. Your first album was primarily hip hop.
Yeah.
You're on your third album now. What can we expect from that? Because I mean, you started to sing more and more and more. Have you been taking singing lessons?
No,
because you've got those killer hooks right now, which have brought you success.
Do you know what? I'll tell you something. I haven't told many people this. When I was a kid, like my mum put me on stage when I was about 6 or 7, because I was a naughty little kid, and she wanted to channel my energy into something else. So she figured if I'm on stage, like in a musical or acting or whatever, I'll get attention there, and then I'll behave at school. And I kind of started to help me a bit. And I didn't sing for ages. Like I think my voice broke when I was like 16, and I stopped singing because I was like afraid. And then I started singing again like 3 years ago, because obviously when you make rap songs, you have to you need someone to sing the hook. And most rappers, as you know, get people to sing their hooks, except for like, I don't know, 50 Cent or Drake, maybe. Yeah. So I started demoing my hooks with the intention of someone else singing them. And then people were like, nah, that sounds good like that. And then I was like, okay. So I got more and more confident. And then when it came to kickstarts, I just, like, before I even wrote the raps, because I used to write the raps first and then the hooks. Kickstarts, essentially, I just wrote the singing part first, and then added the rap as an afterthought.
So you've got those very infectious hooks that have, brought you success, as I say. What's your kind of environment? When do you write these hooks that have been so successful over the last few years?
I tend to write really quickly now.
Do you kind of light candles somewhere in your bedroom, or do you go to the top of a mountain somewhere and write these hooks? Where do they come to you?
Like for that epic top of the hill moment.
Exactly.
Like you see in films. Nah, I reckon the main thing I'd say is I come up with song titles first now. I was reading about the Beatles, and they used to come up with song titles before the song sometimes. So then so someone will send me a beat. So like last year I was sat on a plane journey for like 14 hours, and I had Shot Yourself in the Foot Again, Change the Way You Kiss Me, Under the Influence, Wrong in the Head. These are all songs on my new album.
Okay.
And then I'll get in the studio with, say, Michael Woods, who produced Change the Way You Kiss Me. He's up in Hackney. So I'll get in the studio with him. He played me the beat, and I was like, yeah, this one sounds like Change the Way You Kiss Me. But all I had was that. And then I went away with the beat, like an early demo, and I wrote that song in maybe an hour, just because I already know what the concept is, and I know what that concept means to me.
Yeah.
And I tend to find the first thing that I sing or hum, you know what I mean? Yeah. The first thing that I sing, generally for most human beings, is the most obvious and easiest to remember.
Okay.
So I don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I write. I can be on the tour bus, I can be in a taxi.
We're here in Fulham, your hometown. What was it like growing up here because we've got viewers and readers all over the world. So what is Fulham like? How would you describe it where you grew up? I
mean, Fulham's just like, it's generally a nice part of London, or regarded as a nice part of London, but it's like everywhere in London, there's all walks of life and all sorts of places. And I actually went to school in Wandsworth in South London. But I spent most of my life growing up in Fulham, like skating or, literally, down the park, spitting, doing naughty things.
Or what kind of naughty things? Okay. Do you support Fulham? You're local?
Yeah, I'm a Fulham fan.
Is that depressing for you? Do you think they'll ever, you know, in the near future?
It's more exciting being a Fulham fan because if you're Man U or Arsenal or Chelsea or whatever, you might expect to win the FA Cup or the League or the Champions League or something, and you kind of expect to beat nearly everyone. Whereas if you're Fulham, if you play Arsenal and you beat them,
it's great. Good times.
That's like winning the FA Cup final for a Fulham fan.
Well, I'm a Man United fan, and I do expect to win every week.
That's fair enough. You sound like you're from Manchester.
Oh, yes, thank you. I was born in Manchester. But anyway, yeah, I expect to win every week, and when we don't win, I get really depressed, and I almost can't carry on with my day. Are you one of those football fanatics that are the same, or are you cool when you lose? Does it affect you?
I think most Fulham fans can handle losing.
Yeah.
Like less so with Man U fans. My family actually have lived in Fulham for like 4 generations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, so it goes back to like my great granddad used to live in Fulham, and they've all been Fulham fans. Like,
okay.
So that's why I'm a Fulham fan. Because when I was growing up, Fulham were in like the old 2nd division, so everyone at school supported Chelsea. Not that Chelsea were good back then, but at least they were in the top tier.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were like, yeah, if Fulham got promoted, I'll switch to Fulham. But they never did. They're still Chelsea fans.
All right, so talk to us about your 3rd album, who you've worked with and what the whole mood of it is.
It's a moody album.
It is a moody album.
Is
that where you are at the moment?
I'm quite happy and positive, but I realised with kickstarts that sometimes the emotional stuff connects better and means more to people. And I've been listening to a lot of grunge and rock, like people like Nirvana, like old school like bands, and like the reason for that is what they did so well is they made kind of dark, moody lyrics, but very uplifting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've tried to do with this album. But at the same time, you know, I'll go and then if I'm going to write a verse on one of my tunes, like a rap, I'll just go and listen to grime for a day. You know what I mean? So I'll be like Nirvana one day, grime the next, and then just meld them together. But it's this very personal album. It's about fear of growing old and fear of growing up and fear of commitment. And
so you have all the... Well, because when I think about you, from the outside looking in, I think sex, drugs and rock and roll.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Is that your lifestyle? You can confirm that is your lifestyle?
Yeah, it's pretty much like constantly dealing with excess and temptation.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm very much like an all or nothing person. I can't do things in small doses. I'm either like, you know, fully in the party or don't go to the party at all.
Yeah. So who's at the top of your collaboration list? I know you said you don't want to collaborate with too many people because it gets a bit boring and predictable, but who's at the top?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're talking about like big people, if people came in from America, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love to sing a hook for Jay-Z or Kanye. And I used to, maybe 2-3 years ago, people would have laughed at you saying that, but now I've had a #1 and you know, Mr. Hudson's done stuff for him, then I just think, why can't I do it? You know, if Dre asked me to sing a hook for him, or you know, Busta, any of these people that I've been loving for years.
I know you're very outspoken, so I'm going to ask you, who's at the bottom of your list that you would never collaborate with, that you see on the TV at the moment and you just think they really grind me up the wrong way?
I mean, it's not because I hate them personally, it's more because it's not really my vibe. Like, I'd never do anything with someone like the Saturdays.
That's why I love this guy.
I'd never do anything with Pitbull, Flo Rida, David Guetta, Black Eyed Peas.
That's a big list. You know, you are outspoken and you have spoken about a few people on Twitter. Sher Lloyd, Saturdays.
Alexandra
Burke. Let's talk about Sher Lloyd. Are you not feeling her new single now?
Do you know what? When I ever go at people like Sher Lloyd, people think it's something personal. Right? I'll explain it because people don't realise how it works. They come on the X Factor, they get signed to a major label, they sit around and they go, right, what songwriters can we put her in with? What producers can we put her in with?
Yeah.
These people have got like a massive checkbook.
Yeah.
So really, someone like that should be having the best songs written for her. Like big tunes, like global hits. So you just think, when she's been away for a year and a half, and the best that a board of directors at a major label with like millions of pounds to spend could come up with is a song called Swagger Jagger, that's my beef. That's it. No, I wish her the best, you know what I mean? She's a young girl, and she's fulfilled her dreams at the age of like 18 or whatever she is. Like, I was bumming around when I was 18, just getting drunk, you know what I mean?
Would you ever have taken part in something like X Factor?
Never.
Never?
Nah,
Why
I mean,
not?
luckily that went around when I was there, but I'm scared of auditions. I would have been scared to go in and spit or sing, like, or dance or whatever. I never even saw myself as a pop star or rock star. I wanted to be a film director or an actor. This is all an accident. So
really, this is an accident. This happened.
Yeah,
by
like
mistake.
I was working at MTV
Yeah.
as an editor, and then someone called me and went, "Yeah, Zane Lowe's playing your song tonight." That was 2004. It was like 7 years ago, and I was like, "Really?" Week later, my boss was offering me a promotion in the TV industry.
Yeah.
And then I got a call. Mike Skinner wants to take you out for dinner. I was like, "What? Streets?" Like, yeah. Went out to him. Week later, Island Records want to take you out for dinner. And then before
you signed to Mike Skinner.
I signed to Mike Skinner's The Beats label, the Mitchell Brothers and Pro.
What happened? What happened with that? Because obviously that was exciting times, not only for you, but you know, for the urban music industry and beyond. Because it was like, wow, Mike Skinner's signing new up and coming artists. So there was a lot of, you know.
Yeah, it was partly, I think, him having, you know, sort of vanity project moment, like where maybe he was wanted to just had some money spare and wanted to run his own label because it had been a dream since he was a kid. It was short-lived and it wasn't successful, but it was an experience because, especially me and Pro, I think we learned what not to do for ourselves and also as the industry. And it was also a nice introduction because there wasn't really any pressure on us. Because me and Pro got to tour with the Streets and learn off him. And I think we both learned, especially off songwriting, a lot from Mike, 'cause he's a great songwriter. But we also learned maybe what not to do, because I suppose as the Beats ended, the Streets sort of saw a little decline. You know, and like Mike's biggest years were probably 2006, 2007, and since then he's just kind of disappeared. So if you see people like me and Pro who look up to someone like that, quite impressionable, and you see that, you kind of learn what not to do as well as what to do. So for me, that experience was great. Losing my record deal with the Beats was great because I almost gave up music in 2007, 2008.
What would you have done?
Probably gone back to TV, but I just thought, do you know what? I looked around and I was like, there's a gap in the market. I was like, who else is singing, rapping over dance music and doing like emotional, uplifting lyrics? Like, if you like, sort of taking a rock band ethic and applying it to dance music, and then putting the raps in there as well. I wasn't a group. I'm no features.
Yeah.
I thought no one else is doing that. You know, it's like Calvin and Harris and Dizzy in one. You know what I mean? So then I saw that gap, and then I've spent the last 3-4 years working to fulfill that. And now, like, I've got my own corner of the market. There's no one really competing with me. I've only got to compete with myself.
Since you've seen this success, have you spoken to Mike?
I haven't heard from Mike for about 3-4 years.
Okay.
But I mean, I wish him all the best. I've got no hard feelings towards him. Like,
no hard feelings between the two of you?
No, I just think it's weird.
Would you have liked that call to say, well done?
Yeah, I would have.
Would you like to get in contact?
The only reason I would have liked to call off him is just because we spent a lot of time together on tour.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't think we were best mates, but we were pretty close. You know, we shared some good times on tour. And then to go from someone signing you and putting loads of faith in you and wanting you to do well, which he did, obviously, and then to never hear from them for 3-4 years, I just find that a bit weird. I don't expect to be invited around for dinner, just a text or an email say, congratulations on Kickstarts, or congratulations on your #1, or,
yeah,
you know, even if he said, I don't like your new song, but congratulations on #1, at least I've heard from him.
So Change the Way You Kiss Me, #1.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What's the influence behind that song? Is that a true story, or is it dedicated to one special lady?
The lyrics themselves and how I was feeling on the emotional level were a real story. But the title I actually got from an episode of Hollyoaks. It was like someone was discussing about you can tell a relationship's coming to an end when there's no passion in the kiss.
So you sat there and watched Hollyoaks and the light bulb went off in your head and you went straight to the
I only
studio.
ever catch like little 2-minute glimpses of Hollyoaks.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not like
Sure?
I'm not a Hollyoaks omnibus viewer.
I don't believe you.
I'm not.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell you one character's name.
All right, cool.
Don't test me. But yeah, that's where that song comes from. Like, shot yourself in the foot again. I think I heard that phrase somewhere. Maybe you look for the newspapers and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, David Cameron shoots himself in the foot again. And I was like, okay. But then I take a title from someone and I apply it to what it means to me.
Yeah. It's a good formula. It's a good formula. I'm sure many people watching this are going to nick that formula and hopefully get a #1 record.
You.
All right. Is there any last messages for your fans? What are you up to in the near future?
I'd say come to my UK tour, but it's sold out.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
No, mate,
a lot of energy at those tours as well. You spend a lot of time jumping up and down in the air.
This new show is going to be 1 hour and 20. The one in December, 1 hour and 20 minutes long. We're doing like 17 songs.
Wow. Take your asthma pump.
But I go gym nearly every day on tour.
I'll do.
Like just loads of skipping, running, because I don't think there's any way I could bounce for an hour and 20 minutes. Like.
All right. Well, I'll see you on tour. I'll be jumping up and down with you, hopefully.
Thank
yeah.
You, brother.
Nice
you.
one. Cheers.
More cheese.